Sir, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm going to spin the camera around. I want to show you something. Sorry, sun's in my eyes. I want you to see if you notice anything different. You probably won't, but I'm going to spin it around anyway. There used to be a truck that was next to the Bel Air. All right, so we're trying to get the engine mocked up inside of the chassis. Disregard the firewall. Firewall was all jacked up. We're going to fix that too. Currently, the engine is sitting at, let go, Joe. Should be like almost 5 degrees. This is tolerable for right now. Go ahead and hold it straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit the engine down into the cradle and sort of prop it up on wood as if it was resting inside the car. All right, so the engine's center, 11 inches is center, and we got 24 inches, which would be half of 48 in the rear. This car was in an accident that this engine came out of, and it busted the tail shaft off. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Getting him a new tail cone or something, because he's got no mount. He's got no tranny mount. Not a big deal, but we definitely have to look for that. And another thing, yesterday's wine was over a couple days ago. We noticed that there's no dipstick on this transmission. This tranny's got a plug where the dipstick would go, so that's something to make a note of. So currently the engine's sitting at 9 degrees. My son's gonna raise
slowly. Keep going. Keep going. And right about
there. So we're almost at 4 degrees. Close enough for me. I don't know if the tail cone is going to clear, but we're going to find out. And we can adjust the frame to a certain point by jacking up the rear to see how this is going to sit inside of the car. Getting closer. We are about an inch currently away from, if you look, the body needs to come down another inch right here. So we got the engine sitting at almost 5.5 degrees, tilted towards the back of the car. I want it to go like 3. It's just not possible. This transmission is huge. So we're looking at it roughly 2.5 inches, maybe 2.25 inches, because this is actually, if you look down the car, you see how it rolls in towards the center of the car. So roughly 2.5, 2.25, plus or minus. Obviously that's going to change once the firewall's on. A lot of times when you guys see LS swaps, the engine looks lost inside of the engine bay, and that's typically because, obviously, for one, the engine didn't belong in it, but you can see the tail shaft of the transmission sticking through. Body is sitting completely on the chassis and ever so slightly sitting on the transmission, which is good. We're sitting at, like I said, we're sitting at 5.5 degrees rake this way, and the engine is sitting basically flat this way. Center mark is center with the harmonic balancer, and we've got 24 inches center for the tail shaft. So the engine is, this is the location where the engine is going to go. This is the hardest part to get. I'm not even kidding you. This took us probably a good 3-4 hours. Finagling, moving, tilting, angling, backwards, forwards, up, down with the body. The body wasn't sitting right. So it was a lot of work just to get this where it is right now, just so you guys get an idea. Sometimes it's better to take your time in a situation like this so you don't end up like me with the Samurai with a cockeyed engine, but it's all good. this is where the transmission mount went. You can see that it's broken off. It got sheared off. This part to the drive shaft is going to get replaced to a standard style yoke. So this is just a matter of replacing the tail cone of the transmission. I'm telling you, man, this was a lot of work to get it to where it is right here. A lot of work. So the hard part's over, and now it's just a matter of making engine mounts to nestle this monster into this chassis. So I'm pretty excited. All right, so something to keep in mind with this Bel Air, this engine is supercharged. It's going to get modified, and it's probably going to push around, I don't know, 600 horsepower, I want to say. So we made some engine mounts. I'm going to show you what I've done and how I want to reinforce them, because I just have this crazy feeling that my son is going to get burnout happy, and he's just going to like, he's shaking his head no.
No.
So I just went a little overkill with the mounts. This is 1/4 inch plate. They're 1/4 inch mounts. I'm going to gusset them inside the frame and then box these in to make them really strong. This one I left a little bit bigger because the steering has to kind of go through the mount, if you see what I'm talking about. I'm going to end up having to trim that, but and we're going to slide a plate on the inside of the mount there. There's a 3/16 plate that I can slide in there. My son's saying that he's not going to be doing burnouts and racing, but I'm sure he is. I mean, this is a 600 horsepower engine by the time it's all said and done, supercharged. Wants to get all the mods on it, and it's going to be real easy to just get pedal happy. He has no idea. Well, he doesn't, but he is. He is. I'm sure he is. It's going to happen. So currently the engine location where we tack the mounts on will not work. We need to bring the engine back another 2.5 inches. Clearly there's no way that you can attach some sort of cold air intake the way it's sitting. So not that that's the end of the world, but more so because of how close the radiator is to everything. And we just bolted the fenders on to double check, and it's not going to work. So we got to slide the engine back. I got to break the tacks and reposition everything all over again. Hopefully I could just roll the chassis forward and check my measurements, and we'll be fine. Man, oh man. Whew. Joe, what does that sound that thing makes? Show us. You gotta show us. So the engine's sitting where it needs to be. We ended up moving it back a good 2.5 inches. I had to make a few new mounts. Got to trim a little bit, had to retweak and stuff. But basically what's going to happen now is we're going to get some small metal rod and pretty much build the firewall around the engine, because there's no way, the body's not even down fully, because you see the tranny now is hitting the tunnel. We got to redo the tunnel. Probably has a good, I don't know, 2 inches or so that has to go down. So very cool, man. What a lot of work to get it to where it is right here. This is a good solid day of moving and testing and moving and testing, but we finally got it dialed in. The engine's sitting at 4.5 degrees currently right now, towards the ground, and we're going to end up matching the rear at 4.5 degrees. So one of the things I need to do before I can sit the body back on the chassis for mocking purposes, I'm going to need to cut this section of floor out right here, and more than likely probably back to here. I'd rather cut more than less, because I want to just get this thing sitting on the body. Anyway, I'm gonna have to redo it all. So another thing I want to point out is you can see that there's a lot of rust going on inside of the car. Check this out. This is not good. Definitely not good. So this is seam sealer. It did not attach to the body because the floor, or bare metal, when it was down the bare metal, look, was not coated in a etching primer. So all this, whatever this is, has to come off. The entire body's got to get sandblasted. So enough of the chip chat. Let me cut this floor. She fits, and I can almost guarantee, can't see it from here, I don't know if we're going to see it from this side, but the tail shaft of the transmission is definitely hitting the tunnel. But that's okay, because we're going to change the yoke anyway, and I can also make the tunnel a little wider, so I'm not too worried about that. Most of all, body sitting where it needs to sit. She's all the way down on the back of the car. Let's go check the back. So, and you can even see from here, if you look down towards the end of the chassis, the corner, you'll see that she's resting right there too. Yeah, it's cold out. Jay's got a hoodie on, so. All right, so one of the last things that I want to knock out for today, he's gonna be taking some thin rod like this and basically building a fake tunnel with the thin rod. I'm gonna tack it into the floor. That way when I rest the new firewall on here, I have a tracing template and then I can cut it out. So essentially what's gonna happen is the firewall is gonna get built around the back of the engine. So I'm undecided completely if I want to go this high with it or if I want to go this high with it, but yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. So motor fits really good. You can see she's kind of tight in there, and it has to be that way due to the fact of this oddly placed air inlet. It's kind of in a weird spot. It was very close to the radiator. She's not no more. I think what I'm going to do too is bring the radiator down and the core down, bolt it up real quick, but she's fitting in here really nice. So again, another thing that I have to consider is getting this to here. So the steering column is going to probably come to about here like this. So it's going to be a two-piece. So it'll come 45 and then to a hanger and then another knuckle right here. So it'll go and go up to the steering column. So basically one of the last things I wanted to do was make some sort of holder for the transmission to keep the transmission propped up. I just took a chunk of box tubing, tacked it underneath. We're going to end up making that core support there once we have the tail shaft and we've got our mount removable. This way obviously you can remove your engine, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And somewhat of a template, some sort of gauge to go by. That's basically the shape of the engine. Once, it may not look even, but that top line, trust me, is even. So we're going to set this body down back on the chassis, air it up, get these blocks out, and lay the car out. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. Now we've got a lot of clearance for our air intake. Come down into the grill, nicey nice, cold air. As my son goes, I can't do it. That looks really nice, man. Looks really, really, really nice. I know it's a little deceiving, but you can kind of get the idea. This is all cut crooked. That is level, but that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. Going around the engine like that. Obviously that will be indentated. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but very cool, man. Don't let this fool you. What's done right here, several days to get this engine mocked up into this chassis. Several days. Very happy. I think my son's going to be very happy. He's sleeping right now. He worked last night. When he gets up and sees it, this is my next big mess to tackle. I'm going to clean this whole corner up because this here's our next video. Got tons of sheet metal work. We're going to fix the patch in the door, the patch in the fender. Customer wants to keep the patina, so we're going to keep cutting down to a minimum. Fix the braces inside the fender, lower rocker, maybe that spot in the hood. We're going to replace the lower portion of the hood right there. This is going to be a little sketchy, but because this is worn through, and I'm going to have to take a good look at that once I get that apart. Same on this side. I'm going to fix the hood, the corner. I'm going to try and fix that corner, fender, doors, and then there's some floor work inside. We got to do a C-notch on it, so it's quite a bit of metal work that needs to be done on this bad boy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. I have some hearts that I got to put up. I got some signs that I've got to put up. It's been a very busy weekend, and on top of it being a very busy weekend, I blew my back out, and I've been kind of, I don't know, laid up for a few days. Had a great time at Eastbound Get Down. I'm telling you, man, I'm beyond speechless. I really am. I'm beyond speechless. The truck was a hit. Big things to come with the Samurai. That little Samurai, I would have never have expected it. Absolutely blown away. Yeah, comment down below. You like what's going on with the channel? Comment down below positive things. Comment down below negative things. It's all good. How can I improve this channel? Because without you, these videos are not possible. That is true and accurate information. We'll catch you all in the next one. Have a great day. See you soon.